GeopByte.
Welcome to GeopByte. Hi students, in the previous video we have completed exercise number 1.2. In this video let us cover the topics estimation, estimating to the nearest tens by rounding off and estimating to the nearest hundreds by rounding off. Now let us see estimation. What is estimation? Let us see. First, let us see some examples and then discuss about estimation. See here, the first example is India drew with Pakistan in a hockey match, watched by 51,000 spectators in the stadium and 40 million television viewers worldwide. See, it is given that India drew with Pakistan in a hockey match. Right? It was viewed by 51,000 spectators in the stadium and 40 million television viewers worldwide. See, they have given 51,000 spectators viewed in the stadium. See, we cannot say that exactly 51,000 spectators saw the match. So, see, this 51,000 is an approximate value, not an exact value. Right? Exact is different from appropriate. That is nothing but we are estimating the value. So, approximately 51,000 spectators and also 40 million television viewers worldwide. See, it is given 40 million television viewers also saw the match. See, we cannot say that exactly 40 million viewers saw the match. It may be some 41 or 39, right? 41 million or 39 million. So, here 40 million is also an approximate value, right? Now, let us see the second example. Approximately 2,000 people were killed and more than 50,000 injured in a cyclonic storm in coastal areas of India and Bangladesh. If you see here, approximately 2,000 people. Approximately 2,000 people were killed. See, here also we are not saying the exact value. Approximately 2,000 means it may be some 1900 or 2010, 20 like that. So, nearest to the value. And more than 50,000 means we are not saying exactly 50,000 were injured. More than, they may be some 50,500, 50,600 like that. So, in a cyclonic storm in coastal areas of India and Bangladesh. So, this 50,000 is also an approximate value. So, what is approximate? It is nothing but taking a value nearest to the value which we expect. Right? Here if you see, these are few numbers, we are saying approximately. Right? 51,000, that is approximate. And 40 million, this is also approximate. 2,000 people also approximate, and this 50,000 is also approximate, taking the value nearest to the value. Right? Now, let us see some example. See, you have a big celebration at your home. And the first thing you do is to count roughly that how many guests are visiting your home. Right? You cannot say the exact value of the number of guests visiting your home. Right? You may say some approximately some 15 people or 20 or 30 like that. You cannot say exact number. Right? It is impossible to say the exact number. One or other may become more or less. So that is nothing but estimation. Right? Just we are estimating, means we are approximately saying that this is the value and these are the number of people I am estimating, like that. So this is nothing but estimation. Now let us see estimation to the nearest tens by rounding off. In that, see, we have a problem. Let us solve it. What is given? We have numbers from 259 to 271. So, below we have some questions, right? In these numbers, we also have flags for few numbers. For 261, 263, 267 and 269. Now let us answer these questions. The first question is, find which flags are closer to 260. First, where is 260? It is here, right? 260 is here. We need to find which flags are closer to 260. If you see, 261 flag is closer to 260 and 263 flag is also closer to 260. Let us write 261 and 263. Right? 267 and 269 are not closer to 260 because see, the difference between 261 and 260 is 1 and difference between 263 and 260 is 3. But if you see here, difference between 267 and 260 will be 7. So it is greater number compared to these differences. And for 269 also, it will be more than that. So only these two flags are closer to 260. Now let us see the next question. Find the flags which are closer to 270. Where is 270? It is here. Now which flags are closer? 267 and 269. So let us write 267 and 269. Right? So the difference between 269 and 270 is 1 and difference between 267 and 270 is 3. We can't say that 261 and 263 are closer to 270 because the difference is more when compared to these two flags. So only these two flags are closer to 270. Like this, we need to identify the closer numbers by seeing the difference. Now, round these numbers to the nearest tens, right? So, below we have some numbers. We need to round them to the nearest tens, to their nearest tens. If you see the first number, we have 28, right? So, 28 nearest number of 10 will be 30, right? 28 will be round off to 30 because see, the difference between 30 and 28 is 2. So the difference between the 30 and 28 is 2. It is the nearest 10 of 28. If we take 20, right? 20 and 28, the difference will be 8. So it can't be nearest. 30 only becomes the nearest. 10, so we made a round off to 30. Now let us see for 32. For 32 also, we can round off to 30. The difference between 32 and 30 is 2. We can't round off for 40 because 40 minus 32 is 8. So it is a big number than the difference between these two numbers. So, the round off number for 32 is 30. Now, let us see for 52. 52 can be round off for 50, right? So, 50 will be the nearest 10 for 52, right? Same, we have seen the difference. So, here also we need to check the difference for 50 and 60. As we have the number in between 50 and 60, we need to check the difference between this number and 50 and this number and 60. So we need to find the smallest number and then round off to that number. Right? Now we have 41. 41 can be round off to 40. Right? After 40 only we get 41. Obviously the nearest 10 number will be 40. Now for 39. For 39 also the round off number will be 40. After 39 we get 40. Right? So let us see for 48. For 48 it is 50. Right? See, as I said, we need to check the difference between 48 and 50 and 48 and 40. Right? As the number is in between 40 and 50, so we need to check the difference in between 48 and 50 and 48 and 40. Where the number is small, that will be the nearest 10. So, this becomes 50. Now, here we have 64. 64 means obviously it will be 60. Right? 64 will be in between 60 and 70. Right? You need to check the differences. So, in between 64 and 60, difference is 4, and in between 70 and 64, it is 6. So, this difference is small. That is why we round off to 60. And here we can directly say after 59, 60. So, 60 will be the nearest number. Now, for 99, for 99 it will be 100. Right? So, the round off number for 99 will be 100. Now, for 215. For 215, the nearest round off number will be either 210 or 220. Right? 215 is exactly in between 210 and 220. As a common practice, we will consider the greater number, that is 220. Right? So, when a number is in exactly between, we will consider the greater number. Now, similarly we consider 220. Now, let us see for the next number. We have 1453. It can be rounded off to 1450. Right? See, 1453 lies in between 1450 and 1460. So, the difference between these two will be the least compared to 1453 and 1460. So, this will be the nearest round off number. Let us see for the last one. We have 2936. This will be rounded off to 2940. Right? So, 2936 lies in between 2930 and 2940. So, the difference between these two numbers will be 4. So, it is the least number when compared to that difference. So, 2940 will be the nearest number for 2936. So, this is the way to find out the nearest round off numbers. Now, let us see estimating to the nearest hundreds by rounding off. Right? Till now we have seen estimating to nearest tens by rounding off. Now, let us see this one. For example, let us take a number 823. 823 lies in between 820 and 830. Right? 823 lies in between 820 and 830. Now you say this number will be nearest to which number? Yes, obviously if we find the difference between these two and these two, we will get 820 as the nearest number, because 823 minus 820 is nothing but 3. And the difference between 830 and 823 will be 7. So 3 is the smallest number and these two numbers are nearest. So the nearest hundreds number will be 820. Now let us see one more example. 746. 746 lies in between 740 and 750. So now if you see, the difference between these two numbers will be 6 and the difference between these two numbers will be 4. Obviously 750 is the nearest hundreds. Right? So now you need to remember 2 points. That is, for the numbers 1 to 49, the nearest round off number will be 0. And for 51 to 99, the nearest round off number will be 100. Right? See, for 0 to 49, the nearest round off number is 0. So for 0 to 49, the nearest number will be 0. That is, we need to round off for 0. For 51 to 99, the nearest round off number is 100. Right? So for 51 to 99, the nearest round off number will be 100. Right? So in between these two numbers, we have 50. Right? This is before 50 and this is after 50. So 50 will be exactly in between 0 and 100. So it will be exactly in between 0 and 100. Now see, we can either round it off to 0 or 100. But the common practice we do is we round off to 100 itself. Right? We will consider the greater one. So 50 will be round off to 100. And here you can take 0 or 1. Right? 1 to 49, 51 to 49. This will be round off to 0 and this will be round off to 100. So, similarly, like this, if you take from 101 to 149, right? The nearest number will be 100. In place of 0, we will be having 100. For here, 151 to 199, the nearest round off number will be 200 in place of 100. Right? So, this is the way to round off the nearest number. Now, let us see, check if the following rounding off is correct or not. Right? Below we have some numbers with their rounding off to hundreds. So let us see whether they are correct or wrong. The first one is 841 is rounded off to 800. As I said, from 1 to 49. That is, here it is 41 only. So, from 801 to 849, they belong to 800 only. Right? So, this is correct. And 9000, right, see, this is correct. And 9537 is rounded off to 9500. So, this is also correct. 9537 is nearest to 9500. So, this is also correct. And next one, 49,730 is rounded off to 49,700. Right? This is also correct. They are nearer, so the first three are correct. Now let us see. 2,546 is rounded off to 2,500. Yes, they are nearer, so it is also correct. Now let us see next one. 286 is rounded off to 200. See, this is not correct because 286 will be nearer to 300, not 200. As I said, from 1 to 49 they belong to 0 and from 51 to 99 they belong to 100. Similarly here also 201 to 249 they belong to 200 and from 251 to 299 they belong to 300. So 286 is in between 251 to 299. So 286 must be rounded off to 300. Right? So this is correct and this is wrong. We have corrected one. Now let us see. Next one we have 5,750 which is rounded off to 5,800. So these are nearer to each other. So it is correct. Now let us see the next one. 168 is rounded off to 200. Right? It is after 151. So this is also correct. Now let us see next one. 149 is rounded up to 100. Yes, from 101 to 149 it will be rounded up to 100. So this is also correct. Now let us see last one. We have 9,870 rounded off to 9,800. Right? Yes, you can say that it is wrong because see 9,801 and from 9,801 to 9,849 it belongs to 9,800. But it is more than that number. It is 9,870. So it belongs to 9,900. Right? From 9,851 to 9,899 they belong to 9,900. So this is wrong. 9,870 belong to 9,900. Right? So this will be correct. So among these all rounded offs we got 2 mistakes and we have corrected them. So this is the way to make rounding off. The remaining topics will be covered in the next video. You are welcome to contact us on Telegram to clarify your doubts regarding these topics. Check out the link in the description. Thank you for watching. Please do like, share, comment and subscribe to GeopByte.
GeopByte.